Growth is a journey. My name is Lynn Hinderocker. Thanks for joining me here on Wild Biz Weekly, and you're going to learn about the journey involved in growing a company, a mature company that had lots of barriers in front of it, has to make strategic decisions that impact everybody well into the future. I'm so pleased to introduce you today to the gentleman who is the general manager of the United States Cold Storage here in Omaha, Nebraska. Please welcome, he's got quite a story, Mr. Daniel Goodhart, everybody, right here. Hey, how are you? Great to see you. Thank you so much for joining us. We've been tracking you down for a couple, 2-3 weeks. We finally got you. That's great. Well, Dan, you know, you're the GM at U.S. Cold Storage. Where are they located here in Omaha, first of all?
We have two facilities here in town. One's in South Omaha on South 30th Street. And
Okay.
then the other one is out west off 108th and Harrison.
Okay, all right. So about how many square feet of cold storage did you have before this expansion we're going to be talking about?
Typically, we quantify our space in cubic feet.
Okay.
The existing facility in South Omaha is 2.5 million cubic feet. And
Okay.
the new facility that we are building right now will be 3.5 million cubic feet.
In addition to the 2.5, or will it expand the whole plant?
It'll expand. It will replace the original facility.
I see. So
So
you're
we're
gonna
going to grow by 1 million cubic
All
feet.
right, wow. You know, since you're such an expert in cubic feet, and we're taking a look at the studio right here in the Mastercraft building, what would you estimate the cubic feet, if this were a cold storage container right here, what would be the total cubic feet, Dan? Yeah, I'm serious, man. I'm putting you on the spot. Can you think of that? What would that be?
It would probably be in the range of maybe 800.
800 cubic feet?
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to introduce my next guest, who's from Bozell. Say, please join me in this 800 cubic foot facility, right? I'm very excited. Anyway, Dan, your organization is all over the country, is it not? I mean,
Correct. We have 34 locations throughout the country in 12 different states.
okay. And how long have you been GM at this particular Omaha-based facility?
I've been general manager since early 2008.
Okay. All right. So that's been, you know what's going on here, right?
Certainly, yes.
Yeah. All right, so tell me, you made a decision how long ago? Tell us your story, because your organization was featured in Midland's Business Journal. A lot of these students are in the room right now. You know, they kind of focused on it, they noticed it, because you expanded capacity. There are a lot of companies right now, frankly, that are not expanding. They're holding on to their cash, and they're not actually anticipating much growth unless there's some kind of organic or natural growth. But you went out there and you made it happen. But how long ago did you start this expansion phase that we're going to discuss today?
Well, the facility that's being replaced in South Omaha is celebrating its 60th anniversary this month. And we started 6 years ago in the search process in terms of trying to replace that facility. Obviously, the technologies and the refrigeration process have come a long way in 60 years.
So you're going to update the technology. And
Certainly. And originally, we had looked at building the facility on site, and it was problematic from the perspective we were not able to figure out a way to operate out of the old building until we were able to get into the new.
So that was the initial obstacle.
Right. So we've looked at various different areas around the Omaha metropolitan area. Land cost ended up being quite cost prohibitive. One of the things that we need for our facilities is rail service.
Right, you got to be next to a railroad.
So, that limited our
Selection.
in terms of, available parcels.
Dan, let me interrupt you for a second and ask you, what does the land, that you're looking at industrial parcels, obviously, what is the land cost these days that was prohibitive that you mentioned? What, in general, I'm just a range,
Well, I mean, there's a huge variation depending on.
Yeah, whether the rail is there, I'm sure that makes it more expensive, of course.
Exactly. I mean, we were looking at some parcels that were 80 to maybe as much as $100,000 an acre.
Okay.
So-
Wow. Okay. So the whole thing, you estimated, what was the budget for an expansion like this? A couple million or what?
The project that we're undertaking right now is a $20 million project.
Wow. We talked to Spin Linen a few minutes ago, and they made a capital investment recently, and here you are doing that. And I would just like the audience to applaud a $20 million investment in capital equipment, facilities, permanent, these are huge decisions. People lay awake at night, wondering, am I doing the right thing?
Sure.
How many different areas or choices did you have before you finally rejected them all? I want to hear that.
I'll bet the number was in the 20s.
Really?
Yeah.
That many parcels. Now, As a GM, how much of your personal time did this transition take as you were, you have all these other responsibilities? Did this consume you, or was it something that you'd work on just a little bit every day, or how did you manage the process?
It was a challenge. It was during that 6-year time frame. I'll admit, it was kind of an on again, off again proposition with the upward and downward spirals of the economy.
Sure, yeah.
The project did get iced there momentarily.
Oh, it did?
For a while.
Okay.
But it just goes with the territory.
Sure.
We want to replace this old asset, and myself and my team are willing to do whatever it takes to make it happen.
Yeah. Did anybody come to you and say, maybe this is a bad idea, let's just stick with what we were doing? And was there ever any internal dissension amongst your management team about the advisability of doing this?
No, not really. What brought us full circle and back to our piece of land that we already owned was we came up with a new design that will allow us to operate out of both buildings until we're able to tear down the old buildings.
Right. So as I wrap up here, I'm gonna take the punchline away from you for a second here. Really, it was the engineers, right? That it all rested upon their solution, and they didn't have the right solution initially.
Correct.
Then you took a look through all these years and all these different plots and so on, and then they finally got the bright idea and came back and said, I think we can reorchestrate or redesign this so that all your trucks can back up and we can actually make it work in the contiguous or the adjacent spot, right?
Right, that's basically what happened, and we're going to be bringing an asset into the marketplace that's going to have some new technologies that no one else has in terms of food safety, site security, and a unique refrigeration system that will keep all the ammonia in the engine room, so there's no chance for product contamination.
And the environmental piece is probably better too, right, in terms of...
It is. We are members of the Carbon Disclosure Project, meaning we monitor the amount of greenhouse gases we emit annually, so that we're mindful of that as well.
I want to congratulate you on that. That's a far-sighted move and a responsible move, and I think that's fabulous that you're sustainable. As we wrap this up, one quick question: do you have enough sales to fill up the additional capacity, or are you now going to have to push on those sales guys out on their routes and so on?
We'll have to do a little pushing from the outside, but quite honestly, the organic growth being experienced by our existing customer base is probably going to be enough to get us to where we need to be.
Well, you're a lucky man. You deserve to have a little fortune on your side after going through all this hard work and adversity. Thank you so much, Dan Goodhart with United States Cold Storage, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
Great to see you. We'll be right back with WowBiz Weekly. Got a great new guest coming up. Stick with us on WowBizTV.com. Thanks so much.